What's up, everyone? It's Metamorphosis 745, also known as Metamorphosis 743. In this short video, I'm going to talk about the city versus the suburbs and where I like living in better. I've lived in the city for 2 years, and I've lived in the suburbs almost my whole life. So, after living in the city for 2 years and living in the suburbs for a long time, and having experience in living in both, I'm going to give my opinion of where I like living in better. Now, this might be a surprise to a lot of you, but I actually like the city better, and I like living in the city better than the suburbs. Why do I like the city better? I'll be happy to tell you why. First of all, in the city, there's more culture, there's more restaurants to eat at in the city. In the city, there's a lot more people to interact with and a lot more friends to make. In the city, they have much better transportation. There's more higher quality and more advanced than they have in the suburbs. In the city, they have more beautiful views at night in the city. In the city, they have much more fancier homes to live in, like penthouse apartments and more luxury homes to live in. And in the city, there's more culture, there's more entertainment in the city, and there's just more fun things to do in the city. And so many more reasons why I love living in the city better. See, I lived in the suburbs almost my whole life, and I hate the suburbs. Now, why do I not like the suburbs? Well, first of all, people in the suburbs are just really, really snotty and stuck up. A lot of people in the suburbs just stay indoors or hardly come out. In the suburbs, there's not much fun things to do. There's not much entertainment. It's just really, really boring in the suburbs to me. Sorry for any of you who live in the suburbs and like the suburbs, but the suburbs are just not for me. The suburbs are just way too boring for me. The suburbs to me are just nothing but big houses and a few parks, and that's it. And another reason why I don't like the suburbs is because everything is far out distance. You have to drive in far distance in your car to get to where you need to go. You have to walk really, really far distances just to get to where you need to go, walking on foot. Almost nothing is walking distance in the suburbs. Almost nothing is close by in the suburbs. And the suburbs, it just gets really, really hot in the suburbs because the suburbs are so far away from the city. At least in the city, it's by the ocean, and the ocean water keeps you cool. But in the suburbs, it just gets way too hot in the suburbs, and the suburbs just don't have anything to offer that the city does. The suburbs are just for boring people. Sorry, but it's the truth. And I'm not racist, but a majority of people in the suburbs are white people and hardly any other skin color people and hardly any other nationalities. Yes, there are other nationalities and other skin colors in the suburbs too, but it's mostly just white people in the suburbs. I know because I see white people all the time in the suburbs because I live in the suburbs right now before I move out of the suburbs. Now, and finally, why I don't like the suburbs is because the suburbs just have nothing but barking dogs all day. In the suburbs, it's always just really, really messy in the suburbs. Just trash thrown around over by the grass areas. And the suburbs, just like I said, just have snotty and stuck up people. But in the city, people are more outgoing, people are more interactive, people are more energetic, and people talk to each other more. And in the city, I see people more talking to each other and not just ignoring each other like they do in the suburbs. And also in the city, when I was in the city for 2 years, I just found life there more fun. Oh yeah, and another reason I like the city better is because the city to me has bigger malls. Like for instance, the Mall of America in Minnesota, I've been to it and it's much bigger than any of the other malls I've been to, and the city has much bigger parks to go to. Yeah, sure they have nice parks in the suburbs, but the parks in the cities are much bigger and more room to run around and have fun. And that's just what I want to say. So let me be more specific. The suburbs are for the boring life, and the city is for the fun life. That's why I like the city better. Because right now I just live in the suburbs temporarily because I used to live in the city. And the only reason why I moved back to the suburbs is because I'm taking care of family business right now. But once I'm done taking care of family business and I start my career later in the future, I'm going to move to the big urban city. Of course, when I get married and have kids someday, I'm going to start off in the suburbs and raise my wife and kids in the suburbs first because, like they say, there's less crime in the suburbs than there is in the city. There's less cars in the suburbs, and the suburbs usually have better schools. So I'm gonna raise my kids first in the suburbs, And then when they become like 13 and 14 years old, that's when my wife and kids and me are going to move to the big urban city, because there's just more fun things to do in the city than there are in the suburbs. At least in my opinion, there's more fun things to do in the city than there are in the suburbs. The suburbs are just very, very boring to me, and the suburbs are just not for me. The suburbs are for some people, but the suburbs are just not for me. I love the city better, and I want to move to the city someday, where the fun life is at, or where the entertainment and culture are at. And also, the city is where the action is at too. So that's just what I want to say. I like living in the city better, and I like the city better. Yes, I know that there's more cars in the city than there are in the suburbs, and I know there's more traffic in the city than there are in the suburbs. But at least in the city, you can actually see places that are more close by. And as long as you get to where you need to go on time at a perfect time, you can actually get to where you need to go a little bit faster than you do in the suburbs. I know, because I've ridden in a car in the city and I've gotten where I need to go to in the city within like 7 or 8 minutes, where in the suburbs it takes like 20 to 25 minutes and sometimes 30 minutes to get there. In the city, I was there in less than 10 minutes, because we went at a good time when there wasn't a lot of traffic. Only when there's a lot of traffic is when it takes a long time to get to where you need to go in the city. But as long as you go to where you need to go to in the city when there's not a lot of traffic at the right time, you can actually get there pretty fast. And if you want to avoid traffic, you can just take the transportation in the city, and the city transportation will get you to where you need to go really, really fast. That's another thing I love about the city. In the suburbs, transportation takes a really, really long time to arrive, and sometimes they run really, really late. But in the city, they usually run really, really fast, and they come on time. I love the subways in the cities too. I love the subways and the subway trains, and I love the transportation buses in the city. And I also love the beautiful, beautiful views at night in the city. All the lights, all the people walking around, all the stars in the sky, and the moon at night. And when you go home, you can look out the window and you can see the beautiful city view. That's why I love the city better. I don't get that in the suburbs at all. The suburbs, like I said, are just nothing but big houses and just a few parks, and that's it. And maybe a couple of malls. But the city has so much more than that. And that's why I love the city. So that's just what I wanted to talk about. Between the suburbs and the city, I like the city better, because the city is much more fun, and there's more people to talk to, and there's just more entertainment in the city, and there's just more fun things to do. So that's just what I want to say in this short video. Now, before I sign off, if you like this video, feel free to tell me in the comments below if you like living in the city better, or if you like living in the suburbs better. And if you live in the suburbs, tell me what you like about living in the suburbs and what you don't like about the suburbs. And if you live in the city, tell me what you like about living in the city and what you don't like about living in the city. This is Metamorphosis 745 signing off, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye now, and let's look forward to a good 2020. Take care.